Marcus, when a guy's feeling it like Casey is, I mean, do you just give him the ball and let him cook?
Yeah, I mean, most of our plays is for K-Say, get him going. So, and when he's going, you see how that goes. So that was the plan.
Going through your head on that last three hit right in front of Fred, deep in the shot clock at the very end of the game.
Sam passed me the ball in rhythm. I can shoot those type of shots. It's just all about confidence now. So, I stepped in and knocked it down.
You had some pretty critical plays down the stretch of that three, some tough defensive rebounds, some big free throws. Did you feel that this was kind of a step forward for you, just as far as your confidence and doing that in that moment in Big Ten play?
Yeah, definitely me stepping up, grabbing defensive boards. I kind of lack of that. So definitely the defensive boards. I got to step up on those.
Y'all had lost, and this is for either of you, y'all had lost 4 straight. Just how big does this feel after, things didn't go your way for like 2 weeks?
Happens. We still believe. We still believe in what we can do, what we can accomplish. Those 4 games, it was rough, but we just stayed through it. We need this one today. So.
In particular for you men as you've grown as a player, having to step up into a larger role following the injuries?
Definitely with Jawan and E-Man out, so defensive end gotta crank it up, a notch a lot. So just me being a better defender, that's a big thing.
Casey, you had the third most points by a Husker ever in Big Ten play today. What's your reaction to that?
Just keep going. Okay, yeah, keep going, get better. Yeah.
K-Say's K-Say. So.
Feel this team kind of figuring each other out. I mean, you've had to adjust with Jawan and Emmanuel out. But do you feel you kind of connecting now with the group you have?
Yes, with the, when they were out, that 4-game, losing streak, just still trying to, just rebuild, try to figure it out, stuff like that. But yeah, today was definitely a good one. We got to keep building on from here, though.
Feel like a young guy anymore? Is there a point where you're just part of it now?
I feel like that now. Yeah, I feel like I'm not a freshman. So.
Players? Yes.
Thanks,
guys. We'll bring Coach momentarily. questions for Coach?
Talked a lot about needing to cut down the turnovers, getting off to a fast start, and really everything else just seemed to fall in line right from the get-go for you. Is that about as well as you could have drawn it up to at least start that thing?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about that after our road trip. We had 19 and 15 turnovers in back-to-back games, and everything started, and we talked about this after the Illinois game. It was all going to start with our preparation and how we were going to turn the page and come back in here and get back to work. And the guys were really, they were very resilient. It started with our scout group. Those guys, everything they do, just it doesn't go unappreciated by everybody in our program. But those guys come to work every day, and they give our guys a great look. And, a matter of time before they get their opportunities. So it starts with those guys. They were phenomenal, made our guys work. We really worked on execution and taking care of the ball, 2-hand passes, jump stops, which we did a much better job of this game, and 7 turnovers I think we had today after what we did on the road at least is going to give you a chance. And we won the glass. We talk a lot about that. That's a big theme for our team. If we win the glass, we have a pretty good chance to win the game. With all the adversity we faced this season, with starting with Q going out in the preseason, and then you lose Emmanuel, you lose Jawan, Blaze still is nursing the ankle, and you have to have guys step up. And everybody I thought that stepped on the floor today made a great impact, had a great impact on that win. And Jamarcus, who our guys rallied around in the last game at Penn State, the kid was in tears after the last time we played there because of, I think a big part of it was the free throws, and makes the big shot at the end, kind of put it away, and then makes the free throws. And I'm just so happy for that kid. How he approaches it every day. When he was out of the rotation early, he kept coming in and getting work, and just made huge play after huge play. Sam had a big steal there at the end. Did a great block out to get himself to the free throw line, and made a big 1-and-1 after Derek had missed a couple of them. And Derek's stroke was beautiful. It just hit every part of the rim, unfortunately, on that second 1-and-1. But really proud of the guys for coming back. They showed a lot of grit. We withstood runs. We got off to a fast start, which was so important. It's important in these afternoon games. And our pace, the way we were executing our offense in those first 10 minutes, was something that we need to bottle up and build on, and carry that over for the rest of the season.
Did you know that Casey was going to have a game like this?
Probably hit one from half court. I think that was the one where he kind of knew that it was Casey's night. He had a great finish and train. Jamarcus made a great play on a steal and got it to Casey, and he kind of had a circus underhand up and under layup. And I think he was 7 for 8 on his 2-point shots. It's just, people label Casey as a shooter, but his cutting off of Derek, off of Greasel is really impressive. And when teams are hugging him like they were today, and like they always play him, cutting is something that he has to do. CJ's been a recipient of that as well, cutting to the basket. But it was good to see Casey really get us going early. He did the same thing against Northwestern. Obviously we didn't finish that one, but he got off to a great start and then sustained it for 40, and did it with cramps. He had cramps in both legs. He had a back was acting up, and just it was fun. The passion the kid has. I was just watching the first 8 minutes back in the locker room, and he hit the 1-3, and he was backpedaling, raising the roof, and Funk sprints off and hits a 3 in his face. And that, those can't happen. Celebrate after the play, when we're going back the other way. But, I'm never going to try and do anything to take that kid's passion away. It's so much fun to root for and coach, just because of how much fun he has playing the game.
How much his energy and attitude is infectious with the fans, how much they feed off of that. But the players, like when he's having a game like that, how much does that boost everybody else on the team around him?
Yeah, it is infectious. You see that when he hits those shots, when he gets to the end of the lane, and kind of hits those circus shots. You see the bench go crazy for him. You see his teammates out on the floor, and it's just fun to have a guy that plays with that much passion and energy.
Satisfaction you get as a coach. You talked about Jamarcus a couple of weeks ago being in tears, and just seeing a guy grow in confidence on the job, and also knowing he's going to be a key part, of the future here.
Well, the thing I love about it is just how our guys rallied around him. I mean, everybody in that locker room went over there and gave him a hug after that game, and that's what it's all about. when you got guys like Jawan, you got guys like Emmanuel in the locker room before the game talking to our young guys. We have great leadership in this team, and it's too bad what happened to our team with the injuries. But those young guys are getting so much valuable experience, and you see Jamarcus having an impact. Sam is showing that he's a kid that can go out and make contributions and make plays. Wilhelm hit a big shot for us out there. CJ's a sophomore. He's a guy that's had some good, big plays for us out there. You don't see Ramel every day in practice what he is doing. So listen, we're doing this thing right now with 8 or 9 guys, and you still got Blaze, who's going to be a big factor. We're going to have him for the Michigan game. His jump numbers are back to where they were pre-injury finally after a high ankle sprain that kept him out. Oleg will get another chance as well. So just keep going out there and fighting. I know our guys will, and hopefully give ourselves a chance. Appreciate the support after a tough road trip coming back into this building with a full house. Students were awesome, and I think this team, I've said it all along, it's been one of the more enjoyable groups I've coached, and I think it's an easy team to root for because of how hard they play every time they step on the floor.
Decision not to play Blaze, injury adjacent, and more matchup.
It was more matchup. Yeah, it was more matchup today. They play Dredd at the backup 5 at about 6'5", and just felt that would have been a tough matchup. So we went with Wilhelm with those backup minutes at the 5. We actually had we practiced. We had some reps with Griesel at some 5 as well, and we were going to play really small. We had that one in our back pocket, but I thought our guys did a good job of changing up defenses. We went zone and man and just kind of switched it up. You have to do this. This team is so talented and powerful, and they shoot it from all over the floor. So just to try to keep them a little bit off balance, and I thought our guys executed our changing defenses pretty well.
Just something you have to give to get something somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple where when a guy gets it going like that, you may have to miss a rotation or skip a rotation and go to the hot shooter and then close out short to the other guy. And we ended up going more one-on-one at the end. And, Sam did a good job on one possession of contesting. But, Pickett, listen, he puts you in such a tough position because they screen with the guy they want to get the matchup against. And then they get him in the low post, and you're pretty much forced to help or he's going to get a layup. And you just got to rotate. And, once we tried to get Lundy out of it, then Funk hit a couple. But it's what they do. They hit 18 threes in a couple games this season, and it's a pick-your-poison type thing against this team. And one thing we have done, we've been pretty consistent with our post doubles, and our guys have been solid, but they do it differently. They will ISO them at the elbow and again back them down from really almost full court. So give Mike a credit for what he's doing with this team. They really put you in a difficult spot.
Anything else for Coach?